Welcome back. What you're looking at right now is a liver that's slowly drowning in its own fat. And here's the part almost nobody explains properly. A fatty liver isn't something that just happens to heavy drinkers anymore. Today, the #1 cause of fatty liver has nothing to do with alcohol at all. It's diet. It's the everyday food sitting in your kitchen right now. And the frustrating part is that when you search for help online, you get 10 different videos giving you 10 different lists, half of them copying each other, none of them explaining why any of these foods actually work. So in this video, we're doing something different. We're counting down the 10 foods that actually have real science behind them for healing a fatty liver, we're explaining the mechanism behind every single one, and we're calling out a few popular picks that don't deserve to be on this list at all. Before we get into the countdown, you need to understand what a fatty liver actually is, because that's the only way any of this will make sense. Your liver is supposed to process fat, not store it. When you eat more energy than your body needs, especially from sugar and refined carbohydrates, your liver converts that extra fuel into fat and starts stockpiling it inside its own cells. Over time, that fat buildup causes inflammation, and if left unchecked, that inflammation can progress into scarring, which doctors call fibrosis, and eventually cirrhosis. Functional medicine physician Dr. Amelia Stone puts it simply: the liver doesn't fail overnight, it fails one bad meal pattern at a time, and it heals the exact same way, one good meal pattern at a time. That's actually good news, because unlike a lot of organs, the liver has a remarkable ability to regenerate and repair itself when you stop overloading it and start feeding it the right things. So keep that in mind as we go through this list. None of these 10 foods are magic. None of them will undo the damage of a daily soda habit or a diet built on fried food and white bread. But when you pair the right foods with cutting out the things that clog the liver in the first place, sugar, refined starch, alcohol, and industrial seed oils, these foods can genuinely support your liver's ability to clear out fat and repair itself. Let's start the countdown. Number 10 is beets. Beets get thrown around a lot in health circles, and for once, the hype is mostly earned. Beets are rich in betaine, a compound your liver uses to help move fat out of liver cells and into the bloodstream where it can actually be used or eliminated, instead of sitting there and accumulating. Betaine also plays a role in something called methylation, which is a process your liver depends on for detoxification. On top of that, beets contain nitrates that support healthy blood flow, which matters because your liver is one of the most blood-rich organs in your body and depends on strong circulation to function properly. The caveat here is that beets are still a root vegetable with natural sugar in them, so if you're insulin resistant, you don't want to be juicing pounds of beets every day thinking more is better. A serving of roasted or steamed beets a few times a week is plenty. Green check mark, but don't overdo it. Number 9 is green tea. You've probably heard this one before, but most people don't understand why it works. Green tea is loaded with a compound called EGCG, which is a catechin that has been studied specifically for its ability to reduce liver fat accumulation and lower liver enzyme levels in people with fatty liver disease. EGCG works partly as an antioxidant, neutralizing the oxidative stress that a fat-clogged liver produces, and partly by improving how your body handles glucose, which indirectly takes pressure off the liver. The one thing to watch is concentrated green tea extract supplements, which in rare cases have actually been linked to liver stress when taken in very high doses. So the lesson here is simple: drink the tea, skip the megadose pills. A couple of cups a day, unsweetened, is where the benefit lives. Number 8 is garlic. Garlic shows up on almost every health list out there, but with fatty liver specifically, there's actual clinical research behind it. Garlic contains a sulfur compound called allicin, and several studies have shown that regular garlic consumption can reduce liver fat content and help lower body weight in people with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Part of the reason is that garlic supports your liver's natural detoxification pathways, specifically the enzymes your liver uses to break down and clear toxins. It's also mildly anti-inflammatory, which matters because a fatty liver is, at its core, an inflamed liver. The good news is you don't need supplements here either. A clove or two of raw or lightly cooked garlic added to your meals regularly is enough to get a real benefit. Number 7 is leafy greens, things like spinach, arugula, and Swiss chard. These vegetables are rich in fiber, but the real story is what's happening at the cellular level. Leafy greens are dense in compounds that help increase the fat-burning enzymes inside liver cells while also supporting glutathione production. Glutathione is often called the body's master antioxidant, and your liver relies on it heavily to neutralize toxins and repair oxidative damage. Some research has also shown that regularly eating leafy greens can reduce fat accumulation in the liver and improve markers of liver function. Because they're extremely low in calories and carbohydrates, you can eat these in large quantities without the insulin spike you'd get from starchy vegetables, which makes them one of the easiest wins on this entire list. Big green check mark, no caveats needed here. Number 6 is berries, especially blueberries and blackberries. Berries are unusual because they're one of the few naturally sweet foods that don't work against you if you're dealing with a fatty liver. They're relatively low in sugar compared to most fruit, and they're extremely high in anthocyanins, the pigment compounds that give them their deep color. Anthocyanins have been shown in research to reduce liver fat, lower inflammation, and improve insulin sensitivity, which is critical because remember, insulin resistance and fatty liver feed into each other in a vicious cycle. The important thing is portion size. A handful of berries a few times a week is a genuine benefit. A giant smoothie with 3 cups of mixed fruit and honey on top defeats the purpose entirely, because now you've turned a liver-supportive food into a sugar bomb. Number 5 is walnuts. Out of all the nuts, walnuts get singled out specifically for liver health because they're one of the richest plant sources of alpha-linolenic acid, a type of omega-3 fatty acid. Multiple studies have linked higher walnut consumption to lower liver enzyme levels and reduce liver fat in people with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. They're also high in arginine, an amino acid that helps your liver detoxify ammonia, one of the substances your liver processes every single day. Because walnuts are calorie-dense, this isn't a food where more is automatically better. A small handful, somewhere around a quarter cup, a few times a week gives you the benefit without turning it into an all-day snacking habit that adds up in calories. Number 4 is avocado. Avocados get unfairly lumped in with fear around fat in general, but that fear is misplaced. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fat, the same stable, liver-friendly fat found in olive oil, and they're loaded with glutathione precursors that directly support your liver's detox pathways. There's also research suggesting compounds in avocado can help prevent the kind of liver cell damage that leads to fibrosis, the scarring stage of fatty liver disease. On top of that, avocados are high in fiber and very low in the kind of rapidly absorbed carbohydrate that spikes insulin, which makes them one of the more satisfying blood sugar-friendly foods you can add to a liver-focused diet. Green checkmark. And unlike nuts, you can be a bit more generous with portion size here, since the fiber content helps offset the calories. Number 3 is olive oil, specifically extra virgin olive oil. This is another food that gets caught in the general confusion around dietary fat, but the research on olive oil and fatty liver is some of the strongest on this entire list. Multiple clinical trials have shown that regularly consuming extra virgin olive oil reduces liver fat content and improves liver enzyme markers, largely because of its high concentration of monounsaturated fat and polyphenol antioxidants. The key word here is extra virgin, meaning it's cold-pressed and minimally processed. Refined and heavily processed vegetable oils are a completely different story, and those are genuinely something you want to limit if you're dealing with a fatty liver, because the processing damages the oil and turns it into something inflammatory. Stick with cold-pressed, use it generously on salads and cooked vegetables, and this becomes one of the easiest additions to make. Number 2 is fatty fish, things like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. This is where we get into the omega-3 fatty acids your body actually needs in meaningful amounts, EPA and DHA specifically. These aren't the plant-based omega-3s you get from flax or kaya, which your body has to convert, and that conversion process becomes less efficient the more metabolically unhealthy you are, meaning the people who need omega-3s the most are often the worst at converting them from plant sources. Fatty fish gives you the ready-made version. Research consistently shows that EPA and DHA reduce liver fat, lower triglycerides, and calm the inflammation that drives fatty liver disease forward. Doctor. Amelia Stone often points out that omega-3s aren't a bonus nutrient. They're closer to a missing building block for a lot of people, since most modern diets are so low in them. 2 to 3 servings of fatty fish a week is the target, and if fresh fish isn't accessible, a quality fish oil supplement is a reasonable substitute. And that brings us to number 1, and this is the food that almost never makes it onto these lists, even though the evidence for it is enormous: eggs. Eggs get a bad reputation because of outdated fears around cholesterol, but that fear has been walked back by decades of more recent research, and when it comes to liver health specifically, eggs are hard to beat. They're one of the best natural sources of choline, a nutrient your liver depends on to package up and export fat instead of letting it accumulate inside liver cells. In fact, choline deficiency is one of the few things that can directly cause fatty liver disease in research settings, which tells you exactly how central this nutrient is to liver function. On top of that, eggs are rich in B vitamins that help your body process a compound called homocysteine, converting it into methionine, which your liver then uses to produce glutathione, the same master antioxidant we mentioned earlier with leafy greens. Pasture-raised eggs take this even further, containing meaningfully higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids than conventional eggs. Between the choline, the B vitamins, the quality protein, and the omega-3 content, eggs check almost every box we've talked about in this entire video in one single food. Big green check mark, and if you remember nothing else from this list, remember that eggs deserve a spot on your plate far more often than the fear around them suggests. So to recap quickly, beets, green tea, garlic, leafy greens, berries, walnuts, avocado, olive oil, fatty fish, and eggs. None of these are magic. None of them will outrun a diet that's still loaded with sugar, refined starch, and fried food cooked in cheap vegetable oil. But when you combine cutting out the things that overload your liver with consistently eating the foods on this list, you're giving your liver exactly what it needs to do, what it was designed to do: clean itself out and repair the damage. Your liver has an extraordinary capacity to heal itself when you stop working against it, and that's really the whole point of this video. If this helped clear things up, subscribe for more videos like this one, and let me know in the comments which of these 10 foods you're already eating and which one you're adding to your grocery list this week.